Breaking! An unexpected trade has just shaken up the NFL behind the scenes, and the Chargers are at the center of this upheaval. My friend, this isn't just any move. We're talking about a bold decision that could change the game before the season even starts. I've gotten behind-the-scenes access, and I'll tell you every detail. But first, if you wear your Bolts jersey with pride, leave a like and activate the bell because this story will take you by surprise. Chargers fans, pay attention. The mood in Los Angeles is pure audacity. The team that until recently was the subject of NFL anticipation is now being considered a real candidate to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not just any analyst saying so. We're talking about Julian Edelman, three-time Super Bowl champion and Finals MVP, who made it clear. This team, led by Jim Harbaugh, has everything it takes to surprise in 2025. But are the Chargers truly ready for this historic leap? Could Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, and company end Patrick Mahomes' reign? Today, we'll unpack not only what Edelman said, but also the changes in the wide receiver core and the increasingly intriguing situation in the running game. So stick around until the end, because every detail here could completely change your outlook on the upcoming season. Julian Edelman isn't one to mince words. Known for his competitive spirit and keen eye, the former wide receiver attended the Chargers' final practice and made statements that immediately set the NFL's backroom staff ablaze. He stated bluntly that he believes Los Angeles has a real chance of dethroning the Chiefs in the AFC West, a division that, for those who don't remember, has been dominated by Kansas City for the last 9 consecutive seasons. For Edelman, the combination of Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, and new offensive pieces could be the perfect recipe to break this historic streak. His reasoning is clear. Herbert is healthy, more mature, and now has players around him who can make an immediate impact. The arrival of first-round running back Omarion Hampton breathes new life into the offense, while Najee Harris adds depth and experience. Furthermore, Edelman highlighted Ladd McConkey, comparing the youngster's style to his own game, something that in itself demonstrates the level of expectation surrounding the second-year wide receiver. The second year is always a huge leap for every player, said Edelman, emphasizing that McConkey could be one of the season's difference-makers. But that's not all. Edelman also noted that Harbaugh has a history of quickly transforming teams. This was the case with the San Francisco 49ers, when in just 2 seasons, he went from a discredited team to a Super Bowl appearance. The comparison is inevitable. If in his first year, Harbaugh took the Chargers from 5-12 to 11-6 and the playoffs, what can he do in his second year with even more control over the roster? This is the point that leaves not only Edelman, but the entire Bolts fan base dreaming big. And while the offense is already promising, the defense still holds unknowns. Edelman made it clear he expects surprises on that side of the ball, but as a former offensive lineman, his focus was on the prowess of Herbert, Hampton, Harris, and McConkey. His message was straightforward. They'll be competitive, no doubt. Now, the big question is, with so much offensive talent and a coach who knows how to transform realities, are the Chargers ready to take this next step and truly threaten the Chiefs? We need to address another point that could change everything: the situation of Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston's name has returned to the spotlight, but not exactly in the way Chargers fans would like. When the wide receiver was selected in the first round of the 2022 draft, expectations were that he would quickly become a reliable target for Justin Herbert and a key piece of the offense. However, the start to his career hasn't been the most promising. His rookie year was widely considered disappointing, marked by difficulties adapting to the NFL level and underwhelming performances. However, in 2024, Johnston showed signs of improvement and finally showed signs of justifying his selection. He had 55 receptions, 711 yards, and 8 touchdowns, numbers that represent a respectable increase compared to his first year. Even so, doubts continue to surround his future in Los Angeles. The burning question is, does he still have a place in the Chargers' long-term plan? ESPN's Bill Barnwell brought this question to light, suggesting a bold scenario. Perhaps it's time to consider a trade involving Johnston. The proposal presented would send the wide receiver to the Arizona Cardinals. The Giants would receive a 7th-round pick in 2027, and in exchange, the Chargers would receive lineman Evan Neal, who is still trying to establish himself in the NFL after being selected high in the draft and receiving a 5th-round pick in 2026. On paper, it's a move that raises more questions than excitement, especially since Neal didn't live up to expectations with the Giants and is now seen as a player in a rebuilding process, a project seeking redemption. For many, giving up a young wide receiver who has finally shown progress for a still inconsistent starting lineup may be too risky, and it's precisely at this point that the Chargers' dilemma becomes clear. Johnston may not have become an immediate star, but the current receiving core raises questions about his continued tenure. Ladd McConkey, for example, stole the show in his rookie season. The rookie was simply brilliant, with 82 receptions, 1,149 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Veteran, numbers that quickly made him a central piece of the offense. Furthermore, the franchise decided to once again rely on experience and brought back Keenan Allen, bolstering the leadership of the group. And to top it all off, they selected selected Ole Miss wide receiver Trey Harris in the second round of the 2025 draft, a young player with plenty of potential to grow alongside McConkey. Given this scenario, the question is clear. Where exactly does Johnston fit in? Some argue that, given his surge in production in his second year, he deserves at least one more season to prove his worth. A player with 8 touchdowns last season certainly showed improvement, and it wouldn't be fair to discard him now. On the other hand, there's a group that believes this is precisely the time to use him as a bargaining chip, as the market still sees Johnston as a raw talent with room to develop. With the Chargers needing to bolster their offensive line, this could be an opportunity to better balance the roster. Ultimately, the central question is both simple and complex. Is it worth giving up a young, clearly improving wide receiver for an offensive lineman who hasn't yet established himself? This decision is not only technical, but also strategic. After all, changing the receiving core now could directly alter the team's offensive balance. And balance is key for the Chargers in 2025, especially since the running attack also promises to be decisive in the AFC West race. If there's one position that's likely to generate debate in Los Angeles, it's running back. The story began in the draft when the Chargers selected Omarion Hampton, a standout from North Carolina and considered one of the most promising talents in the class. Soon after, the franchise signed Najee Harris as a free agent, a move that seemed perfect to reinforce the physical style that Jim Harbaugh so loves to instill in his offenses. But then came the unexpected. On July 4th, Harris suffered an eye injury in a fireworks accident. Although the latest updates indicate he should be ready for Week 1, his absence during training camp opened up space for Hampton to gain prominence, and the rookie took advantage of the opportunity. Training reports indicate that Hampton impressed the coaching staff, displaying strength, explosiveness, and vision. Many analysts believe he has not only established himself as a key player in the offense, but may even be ahead of Harris in the team's pecking order. This healthy competition has the potential to transform the Chargers into one of the most dangerous running teams, as Harbaugh has always been a proponent of a physical and balanced attack. From a strategic standpoint, the situation is even more exciting. Imagine an offense that combines Justin Herbert throwing to McConkey and Allen, while Hampton and Harris take turns punishing defenses on the ground. This creates an unpredictability few NFL teams can offer, and for fantasy football players, Hampton's presence already sparks enormous curiosity. A rookie with so many opportunities could become a true gem for those who bet on him early. Now, the question remains, will Harbaugh share the carries evenly, or will Hampton truly assume the, say, #1 running back role in his first season? The answer could determine not only fantasy numbers, but most importantly, the Chargers' future in the AFC West race. Fans, the season is already off to a hot start. Julian Edelman projects the Chargers as a threat to the Chiefs. Questions about Quentin Johnston's future and a running back battle that could redefine the offense. And all of this with the season opener scheduled against Kansas City on September 5th. Could this be the beginning of a new era? Leave your opinion here, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.